Create one more database with the name of Besant Bank. Create one more database. Open workbench. Create database Besant Bank. After that, refresh schemas. You will get your database with the name of Besant Bank. We created database. We have multiple databases. How to use this particular database? Use database name. How to use this particular database? Use Besant Bank. Use Besant Bank. If you go to any bank and if you create any account, what are the things you are going to get in the passbook? Account ID, account holder name, IFSC and CAN numbers will be there. They will be depending on branch. Account type, savings account. This debit and credit are related to transactions. You go to one bank to create an account. What are the account details that you are going to get? Account details you are getting. Account ID. Account ID or account number, whatever it might be, both same. Account holder name. Account holder name. IFSC code will be depending on branch. If we don't have any branches, we will not have any IFSC. Age, if there is any restriction based on age, they will take date of birth or age. Like that, they are not giving accounts for children or something. They will take age. Account type. Account type. I'm taking it as current balance or present balance. Current balance. Okay, these are enough. Let us think these are basic things that you are storing in one particular table called account details. What is the data type that I can give for account ID? Any yeah, account ID. Begin usually we want to take, but I am taking it as integer. Integer. Can we use any constraint? Primary key. Account ID will not be duplicated for 2 people or 3 people. Same account ID will not be there. Primary key. The constraint. After that, for name, care of 30. Can I use any constraint? Not null. Not null. After for age, data type, int, and constraint. If I want to check that age should be greater than 18, check age greater than 18. account type, data type, where if we don't want to change it, where of 20, and we can check whether it is savings or current. If we want, we can write check there also. After that, current balance. If we want, we can take binary. Sorry, decimal. I told the binary, sorry, decimal. Float, double, decimal are there, right? If we want, we can use decimal, but not to make complex. I am taking as integer only. What is the maximum capacity of integer? 200 crores. I can't store any black money here. Only up to 200 crores. Okay, let us create account details table. Create table, account details. We have column called account ID, which is integer and primary key. After that, name, character of 30, not null. After that, age, any int, check age should be greater than 18. Age should be greater than 18. Account type, account type, where care of 20. And current balance, integer. Hmm? Only for string data type or text data types, char and where we will mention the length of the text we are going to store in that particular column. Yeah. After that, click on Control Enter to execute. After that, all of you execute, select star from current balance. Sorry, account details. Select star from account details. Select star from account details. We created one table to store account details. Let us insert one value into this account details table. Let us insert one value into this account details table. Insert into account details values We have to give account ID 1, name Ram, age 21, account type savings, and current balance is 1000. Insert the data and execute select star from account details. One value is inserted into the table. One record is inserted. One customer created his account and I stored his data. After creating his account, will he become? He will do some transactions. He will do some transactions. Should I need to store transactions or not? If we don't store these transactions, after 6 months, he will come back again. He will come back again. And what he will do? He will ask for statement. If we don't give, he will break all bank property. We have to give him the statement. If you go to ATM and if you are trying to take any statement, what are the things that you are going to receive there? What are the things that they are going to print there? Transaction details. I am storing this transaction details separately. What am I going to get? For each and every transaction, I will get transaction ID. Yes or no? For each and every transaction, even if you print mini statement, for each and every transaction, there will be a separate transaction ID. Transaction ID. After transaction ID, we will get transaction time. Date and time of that particular transaction. Transaction type. Transaction type, whether it is credit or debit. Transaction done by. Who did this particular transaction? Transaction done by. It is nothing but of account ID of that particular person who is doing transaction. We can take it as account ID. Yeah, withdraw means debit. Deposit means credit. I am using different terminology. If you want, we can take withdraw. Transaction type. After that, transaction amount. In SQL, all of you try one particular query called select now of. Select now of. All of you execute this particular query. Select now of. That's all. Yeah, anywhere execute this particular query. Select now of. It will print current date and time. Now of is a function which is used to print current date and time. It will print present date and time. For transaction ID, what will be the data type? I am taking integer as data type. Can I give any constraint for transaction ID? Which constraint can I give? For each and every transaction, there will be a unique ID, and transaction also cannot be null value. Transaction ID should be primary key. Who will write this transaction ID every time? When it comes to account ID, while you go to bank to create account, someone, their system operator or someone, he will enter a new account ID. He will have what is the last account ID and he will give next number for you. He will have last account ID, previous generated account ID. He will give next number for you. When it comes to transaction ID, who will generate? It will come automatically. If you do any transaction, for each and every transaction, you will get transaction ID. One by one, it will come automatically. This sequence of values which will generate automatically. We have to use auto increment tool. Auto underscore increment. After that, comma. For account ID, what is the data type? Integer. Same integer we gave there, right, in account details table. Same account ID. To find who did that particular transaction. Without account ID, you can't find who did that particular transaction. Here we are not discussing about transferring amount. We are discussing only about transaction. Transaction means credit or debit, or deposit or withdraw. That's all. It is foreign key. Transaction time, date, time, data type, date time. And default I will give now of function. Yeah, default now of. Yeah, yeah. While inserting, if we are inserting remaining values, whenever we are executing that insert query, it means one transaction occurred. Whenever we are doing transactions, automatically it will print current date and time, that particular date and time. That is what we are doing in ATM, right? Whenever we are doing transaction, it will print current date and time. Default now of, that's all. In the same line, transaction time, date time, default now of. Yeah, default is the constraint. Yeah, it will take current date and time every time. Yeah. Transaction type, where care of 10. I am taking. And if I want to check, I can check whether transaction type is credit or debit. After that, transaction amount is integer. At the end, we have foreign key. Foreign key, which is the foreign key here? Account ID, references. For which column it is referencing to? This is account ID. For which column it is referencing to? This account ID is related to which column? Account details of account ID. In account details table, for account ID column, it is referencing. References, account details of account ID. Account details of account ID. References. References means, yeah, it is related to primary key value. This primary key value, we have to mention that. For that, we have keyword called references. References is used to build relationship. This foreign key column, this account ID column is related to account details of account ID. In account details table for account ID column, this column is related. These two are. This is foreign key. Foreign key syntax is different. At the end, we have to mention like this. Remaining constraints we will give in column name itself, right? Foreign key we have to mention like this. Foreign key account ID, references, account details of account ID. Let us create this transaction details table. Create table transaction details. Transaction ID. For that account ID. Transaction type. Transaction amount. And transaction time. These are the columns that I have in transaction details table. Transaction ID, account ID, transaction type, transaction amount, and transaction time. Transaction ID is integer. I'm taking it as integer. Primary key. And it is auto generated value. That's why I'm taking auto increment. Auto underscore increment. Auto underscore increment. After that, account ID, which is integer. Transaction type, I am taking varchar of 10. And I will check that transaction type can be credit or debit. If you give anything beyond, it will not take. Transaction type equal to credit or transaction type equal to debit. After the transaction amount, integer. At last, transaction time, date, time, data type. And default value is no. These are the columns that I have in transaction details table. Yeah, here also we can give comments. If you write any text, if you want to make it as comment, in most of the tools, this is the common thing. Select that particular line and click on control forward slash. Control forward slash. It will become comment. Even in HTML or something, it will become forward slash. Comment directly. This is a common thing. After writing anything, just click on control and forward slash. This is forward slash. Yeah, we can type. We can type hash also. We can type hash and we can write comment also. We can, if you want to write multiple line comments normally, forward slash and star. We can write multiple lines and we can use star and forward slash to end. After that, it will take as normal text. For easy use case, whatever you want to write, type that particular thing. After that, select that thing and click on control forward slash. It will, even if it is multi-line, it will automatically become a comment. If you want to write single line comment, you can use hash, or if you want to use multi-line comment, if you want to type normally, forward slash star, and at the end you have to give star and forward slash again. How many are the auto-generated values here? How many are the auto-generated values? Transaction ID is auto-generated. Transaction time is auto-generated. Remaining three columns we have to account ID, transaction type, and transaction. Let us think you went to some ATM. You went to some ATM. You inserted your credit card or debit card. You inserted your credit card or debit card. Immediately after inserting credit card or debit card, based on that card, your ATM will capture your account ID. Based on your credit card or debit card, your ATM will capture your account ID. Account ID is taken. After that, in display, you will get options called you want to deposit the amount or you want to withdraw the amount. Deposit, withdraw, credit, debit, whatever it might be, same. You will get some options. You will click on something. For example, you are crediting the amount. You are depositing the amount. It is a CDM mission, you are depositing the amount. If you click on credit, credit will be taken. Transaction type will be taken as credit. After that, they will ask you to enter the amount or you have to insert some notes. It will take the amount automatically. You have to insert amount manually somewhere or you can give notes also. Based on the number of notes you are giving, it will take amount automatically. These three columns are taken from front end or somewhere. You have to insert these three values manually. Transaction ID and transaction time are auto-generated, which is given by system automatically. Let us create this particular table. Create table, transaction details, created successfully. After that, just execute, select star from transaction details. Select star from transaction details. Select star from transaction details. In the output, we got transaction details table separately. We created this transaction details table. For which columns do we need to insert data here? For which columns do I need to insert? Two columns are auto-generated here. I need not to insert values for them manually. Account ID, transaction type, and transaction amount. These three columns should be given manually. Sorry, I forgot to give this foreign key. All of you drop the table. Drop table, table name. Drop table, transaction details. No problem, we can add foreign key for the same query. So that give comma and give foreign key. Account ID. References. References. Account details of account ID. Account details of account ID. Foreign key, account ID references, account details of account ID. After that, click on Control Enter to execute. After that, execute, select star from transaction details. After that, we want to insert data. Insert into transaction details. Transaction details. After that, you have to give only for the specified columns. which are account ID. What error, man? Syntax error. Check the syntax properly. Foreign key, you have to give comma within the column. After above, give comma. Account ID, transaction type, and transaction amount. Transaction type and transaction amount. Transaction type and transaction amount. You have to drop table first. Execute the drop file. And I execute again. Transaction amount. Insert into transaction details. You have to insert into account ID, transaction type, and transaction amount. After that, I am giving values. I am giving account ID first. Account ID 1% did transaction because I have only one customer. Account ID 1% only can do transaction. Transaction type is credit. And transaction amount is 1,000 rupees. 1,000 rupees. After that, click on Control Enter. What he is doing now, he is creating 1,000 rupees. He is doing the credit of 1,000 rupees. After that, execute select star from transaction details. Known column, known table. Yeah, check the table name properly. First, create the table. Transaction details, execute it. Execute it after the semicolon. That's why you have to write query in multiple lines. Transaction ID is auto-generated here. Transaction time is current time. Current time. Check it. 8:27:38 seconds is current time. 8:27:38 seconds. If this person did one more transaction, for example, this account ID person did debit of 500 rupees. Debit of 500 rupees. After that, if I click on Control Enter, value is inserted into the table. After that, execute select star from transaction details. Transaction ID 2 is auto-generated. Check the transaction time properly. 8:29:18 seconds now. Before that, 8:27:38 seconds. Now 8:29:18 seconds. It is taking current date and time exactly. Okay. He did two transactions. He created 1,000 rupees and he debited 500 rupees. He's already, while creating the account, his current balance is 1,000. What should be his balance now? 500 should be added to that 1,000. Already 1,000 is there. Already 1,000 rupees is present in his bank. He credited 1,000 more rupees. Already 1,000 is there in his bank. After that, he did credit of 1,000 rupees. 1,000 plus 1,000, 2,000. 2,000. Now he debit 500 rupees. 1,500 should be his balance. 1,500 should be his balance. Now, if you check select star from account details, his current balance is 1,000 rupees only. It is not changed. It is not changed, right? It should change automatically. If you are doing any credit, your balance should increase. If you are doing any debit, it should deduct from your balance. Okay, let us stop here for today. In next sessions, let us see how it will reflect there.